It
All
is.
right. We are back after
2025.
We're back after like a 3-month-ish hiatus.
It's been a little bit. I don't know if it's been quite that long, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
But I'm super happy to get rid of 2024. I know that a lot of people are in disagreement. They're like, oh, there was good parts. Maybe for some.
Okay. There were good parts.
I know.
It just seemed like there was a lot of
it was overshadowed a lot.
There was a lot of bad parts, all congested in like a small amount of time towards the end. So
well, I'm happy to welcome 2025. Although it can take the cold weather, because this cold weather is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be cold, but I didn't realize just how cold this morning was going to be.
I thought it was going to be colder. I've been talking about this for 2 weeks, and Mike is probably like, he's been thinking I'm being crazy because I'm like, there's an Arctic blast coming. It's coming. It's gonna be really cold here. And he didn't believe me. He's like, what are you even talking about? And I'm like all the news people were talking about it. And yeah, I mean, I fed into it, and I was like, oh my God, I thought it was going to be colder. I mean, it does feel colder than it is, but yeah, it is definitely chilly.
Well, when they started making like arrangements for shelters and stuff like that, I'm like, all right, it's real. We better go.
We're over the shelters at this point.
For one reason or another.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to what we're going to talk about today. Obviously, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. Congrats, Bucks. They had a big win the other day, putting them into the playoffs. And Mike Evans, he got a chance to make his $3 million. I'd like to make $3 million for Kitchen.
I heard the Duck met Tom Brady. That was exciting.
They adopted the Duck. That is the craziest thing to me. That is so cool, though.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. I don't watch football, but I see the clips, and I thought the Duck thing was awesome. I really liked that part of everything. Yep. So I show up for the Super Bowl once a year, and that's about it.
Good. Sounds good. I don't know who's going to go to the Super Bowl. There's so much competition. It's pretty good this year. I'm excited to watch the games, and yeah, I'm into it. And then another thing that I wanted to bring up, and I don't know, like how many storage units and car washes and all that kind of stuff that we have locally. That's fun. But I am excited because there's so many different new coffee shops that are upcoming. So I think Kayla and I are going to take some trips to some new coffee shops here over the next couple of weeks and go drink some coffee and tell you all about it.
Guys will be like this. And like,
ready to go. We'll be all jacked on coffee.
Yeah, so lots of new stuff.
I've never been there. Have you been to Scooters?
No, not yet.
I haven't been to Scooters.
I pass it all the time, though.
A place called Rulu, which she apparently likes that word. What's with White Duck? Like taking 100 million years to show up. I mean, it's there.
I don't know, but I have a confession.
Okay.
I had White Duck coffee for the first time.
I like their energy drinks.
Probably a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
I don't know. For the first time I was driving by, and I think I was ahead of time for an appointment or something. And I'm like, I'm going to pull in there and I'm going to try it. There's not a line. Huh?
Was it for you or no?
It was for me. I just wanted to try it. And
no, I mean, like, did you like it? Like, was it? I like their energy drinks. Or is coffee to you?
Coffee is not coffee to me.
Okay.
I liked it, but the problem is the current location is not exactly convenient for me. So I don't see myself driving there. We should
make Jesse pop in and tell us what in the world is going on with White Duck. He has a White Duck obsession, if I'm not mistaken, and he's been waiting patiently for that to finally open. But look, here he comes.
I will jump in.
What? I figured you would.
Hi everyone.
Hey.
What's going on?
What's up with White Duck? When's it coming?
they couldn't. I guess they're drawing water from underneath the road in that
Oh.
location, and they're waiting for their permit from Pasco County to come back.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that
Mhm.
takes a
Are
while.
lovely. Yep. Well,
Delays.
Yep.
the storms, I'm sure, had a little bit to do with all of that and how much water we were holding.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
Boo.
what is where's the second location again? It's on
Little Road.
Little
Mhm.
road.
Little Road.
What's that crossroad right there? I'm drawing a blank.
Between Ridge and I would say Embassy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yep.
it's small. They're all small, but they're great. I like their energy drinks. But anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's perfect for me.
Yeah.
Because I pass by there all the time. So, but yeah, I'm probably not the best person to ask about it because I really love my coffee machine. So
You're a Nespresso person, aren't you?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like coffee shop coffees also, but I really enjoy my coffee and I make it at home most of the time.
Yep.
So,
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll jump off. Thank you for having me.
yeah,
Wait,
thanks for popping in.
Heather will be happy.
Yeah.
That's why we talk. So continue on. I'll be watching.
All right. And then up towards like Odessa, which I personally haven't had the opportunity, but I know a lot of people that have. It's called Urban Crunch, and I know that they do like specialty ice creams, and they also have some specialty coffees. It's Maria's fault that I now have a coffee obsession. Do you know that?
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yep, never
I
drank coffee
believe it.
a
I
day
believe
in my
it.
life. I started going to the gym. So how many gazillion years ago was that? And she would want espresso in the morning. Well, I'm like, well, what is this that she's drinking? Well, I just started drinking espresso black. So my coffee is black. It has to be like great. And it's her fault that I used to have to get her espresso in the morning and I would have to get my own on the way. But I had to keep up with her. She was all
Yeah.
singing and I was not.
We've had a caffeine issue on and off for many years.
Yeah.
Between energy drinks and pre-workout and
Well, that was my pre-workout early in the morning with her. And then, it went from there. That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So lots of new stuff. I know we have some good guests coming up. And we are going to be doing kind of like our monthly kickoff, right? Like the first week of the month.
Yeah. And we're going to do some like market updates type of thing, like the first Tuesday of the month. That's the way we're going to just to continue. And then
everything.
and then we'll have the guests for the remainder of the month. But I feel like we really, especially with things that are up and coming, being the new year, and I'm expecting the market to change quite a bit, as we'll talk about here in just a few minutes. But to keep everybody updated with that kind of stuff and tips and tricks in the real estate / mortgage industry and what's going on and what's expected and things like that. So make sure that we at least had that time because we have our amazing guests that want to be on our show, which I'm very grateful for. But sometimes it's hard to update, like as far as the is concerned when we're talking about their business.
Sure. Yep. Absolutely. So I know you wanted to touch on they'd have increased loan limits.
Yeah, for 2025.
Yep. And they do this every year, right?
They do. Yeah.
Or mostly every year as needed.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, it has been recently, we'll call it, over the past few years. They've increased them pretty much every year. So when I did the FHA loan limits, I just did Pasco County. And for the most part, anywhere in our vicinity that we would be doing business in, it would probably be the same max loan amount. And in this case, it would be $524,225, which is pretty significant. I mean, FHA is for basically first-time home buyers, pretty much. So what a lot of people don't know is that you can go and buy a multi-unit as a first-time home buyer. You can go and buy a 2-unit building and live in one side and essentially rent out the other. So for 2 units in Pasco County, that is increased to 671,200. And then of course, if there's other multi-unit properties, their loan amounts are different from what I just told you.
Right.
But anyway, I thought it was pretty significant for an FHA loan, and kind of
Right.
shows you where our market is, especially in Pasco County, that we're having to increase our FHA loan limits to well above 500,000 for a first-time home buyer. That's a big deal to me, I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at the market from, let's just see,
And-
5-6 years ago,
Right.
we weren't looking at first-time home buyers.
No.
Or
Anywhere
many people in general, purchasing a house
Yeah.
at that price. But the market has just taken off and increased to these crazy levels, which we've all been talking about for many years. And I guess it's kind of
one of the reasons I brought up the multifamily is because, I know when I was a first-time home buyer, and I know things have changed, and even to afford a $524,000 house right now, you're double thinking things for most of us. But if you were to get that multifamily, you'd have that extra stream of income to essentially help you pay that mortgage. And that was one of the reasons that I brought it up. A lot of people don't know that as a first-time home buyer, if that's something that you're interested in doing, having that investment portfolio, it might be a good place to start.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
House and have the ability to bring some money in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's not everybody. A lot of people might not want that, but I think that there's also a good handful of people that do,
Sure.
And do want that investment, or thinking about future retirement or whatnot. Who doesn't like to have extra money, or help you pay for your mortgage?
Pay your mortgage, right? For sure.
Sounds like a good deal to me.
Right.
But
and then conventionally, I was actually pretty shocked. I knew it was going to increase, but I don't think that I was expecting it to increase as much as it did. But here nor there, the new conventional to keep you under that jumbo limit is now 806,500, and that was up from 766,550 last year. So
Wow.
that took a pretty big jump as well. Which
and
is
I feel like that was that's like the old jumbo loan.
It was, and that's exactly what it's for. That the people that were purchasing those properties that were in that jumbo category, now that limit is higher, they essentially, because let's face it, jumbo interest rates are much higher than your regular conventional. So anybody that their loan amount is above that 766,550 from last year that purchased, they essentially can refinance and have conventional interest rates right now. So that's and if you're looking at those type of loan amounts, you're saving, a significant amount of money.
Significant money.
I think that's what we're going to see. We're going to see some refi, like a little refi boom here.
Yeah, and didn't we already see one a little bit
Yeah, but it's gone. It was like for a hot second.
Right. That was like, because I know, gosh, what was it? I don't remember exactly what month it was, but I know when the Fed cut the rates were already down at that point. We were seeing like low sixes, maybe upper fives, I think.
Yeah. Yep. And we're not seeing that right now.
No.
Still. And that's actually one of the things that we have on our little schedule here that we're going to talk about, and what we're anticipating for that. But I don't think in 2025 they're going to have as many rate cuts that we did in 2024. And everybody's like, why? The rates are higher. I just don't think that it's going to happen the same way. I think that it's going to spread it out, and it's not going to be as.
And we talked about this last year a lot too. It's because of the election year, partially, is why you see so many rate cuts. And I think that was when it was October, right? September, October, when we saw those.
No, October's a blur.
Yeah, I know. So that's what I think. Only just timing, because the election was in November.
Right.
So I'm just thinking logically of when it was. But yeah, going back to a little bit of the first-time home buyer, I know that kind of talking about the storms and everything. the county has suspended first-time home buyer down payment assistance.
Oh, I should look that up while we're on here.
Well, at least it has been since October.
Yesterday was the day that they were going to make the decision of whether they were going to open it up again. I did look yesterday. As of yesterday, there was no update, but it's on my plan to look today to see if it's open back up or if it's still restricted. But they were not giving any down payment assistance money for ship funds.
Yeah, and that's across the board for the affected counties, right?
Yeah.
Not just Pasco.
Yeah. It's so they do Pinellas, Hernando, Hillsborough, and Pasco.
Okay, and so they've all been suspended, which is a big deal because if
and there's other ones, but we're talking specifically about county.
Right, there are other bond and down payment assistance programs, but if you are a specific type of buyer, and depending on your income and everything, you can get a lot of money and a lot of assistance to help you purchase a good property without having to come out of pocket very much and keeping your payments lower. And then some of these, like I know we had a client who the assistance funds was essentially going to be forgivable after a certain period of time.
Correct.
Which is it's a big deal for people to be able to afford to live.
Yeah, as long as they're making their monthly payment on time and after a certain period of time, depending upon your income status when you received those funds, is whether they were going to basically make it go away that you no longer owe it.
Yeah. So hopefully that comes back soon, so we can get more people out of renting and into home ownership. And, it's just a big deal. So moving on, because I know we have a lot of stuff to try to squeeze into a 30-minute period, and we're already over halfway through. So
I wanted to ask you, your opinion, what are you seeing in the real estate side as far as inventory and the values of homes, things like that? So
being that we're 7 days into the new year, we're past holidays, we're past the election, we're past all the storms and everything. But we're not past it, but we're past it. The last couple months have been very interesting, very strange, just because of all of those three things combined into such a small period of time. So inventory levels are higher. Houses are sitting a little bit longer. The values, I think, for the most part, are not going down significantly. In some areas, we are seeing that. But I also think a lot of people are still overpricing their homes to see what's going to happen. So I see a lot of price decreases and just more time on market. But with all of that being said, I've already seen an uptick just within a week. Once we're past the new year, I have more showings on all of my listings. And it's crazy. Listings that have been sitting for, 2-3 months now all of a sudden are getting more showings. I'm seeing more listings, not my own, just going pending.
Right.
So it's not like I'm saying the market is so hot it's taking off right now that everybody needs to rush out and buy immediately. But it's better than it was last year. And, as well as I do, we're going to be getting into our prime, buying and selling season, spring and summer. I know, again, it's still early in January, but I think a lot of people are, all right, holidays are over. We're going to see some more inventory from people wanting to get through the holidays first, prepping their houses, getting all their decorations away to list. And then you also just have the buyers and snowbirds that are like, okay, hey, we're ready to buy. We're done with the holidays, all the festivities and everything. now we're kind of getting back into the norm of things.
Right.
So I think that it's just, we're kind of going to be climbing that mountain of buyers and sellers, but I think we're going to stay at a good, healthy inventory and have a nice balanced market this year. It's a good time for both buyers and sellers. So sellers aren't going to be sitting for 6 months as long as they price their house appropriately. And then buyers are still going to be able to have some negotiating power.
A little worse, I think.
Yeah.
Depending upon, it's like going to be like a time frame thing, meaning that like when rates go down, we're going to see an influx of buyers because they've been waiting for the rates to come down. So I agree that it's going to be a good, even keeled market hopefully for the entire year. But I definitely think that we're going to get a little,
little bursts
as we go and we continue.
Yeah. No, I
good for the market.
Yeah, it is. It's good for a healthy market. And of course, people are still dealing with the aftermath of storms, not just coastal communities, but people next to rivers and stuff. So, I think a lot of investors right now are like thriving because, it's very unfortunate. You see a lot of as is sales, houses that are gutted or not gutted, but just flood damaged, and it's all over. I mean, you have all those river houses, especially out in Ridge Manor. The water was sitting in these homes for like 3 weeks, and it didn't go anywhere. So there's a lot of new disclosures and new things in the real estate world where people have to disclose. Which they always had to, but now there's new forms of, hey, have you gotten FEMA assistance? Have you filed a flood claim? And it's more specifically dedicated to a separate disclosure, not just the seller's disclosure.
Right.
So, so that's good for buyers, and it'll just it's going to be. I think it's going to be a really good year. Just for everybody who's looking to buy or sell. And, when it comes down to, at the end of the day, your house is going to sell as long as it's prepared properly to list and to show. And as long as you don't overprice it, and overprice it by a lot, so, those are always, no matter what type of market that we're in. I guess unless you were talking about like 2021 when it was Wild Wild West. Other than that period of time, that's just how the market's going to go. Is you just have to, prep your house to make it show the best and, price it appropriately.
Yeah. Well, we also have a new president coming in, and of course he's going to have different people that he's going to bring in. So I think that's going to have a lot to do with it as well, as far as like what our FHA director, who's that going to be, what's going to happen as far as just, are they going to privatize it? Probably not. Are they going to make things looser? Are they going to make things more difficult for buyers? Like, what's their game plan as far as the industry is concerned when these new people come into the White House? I think at first we're going to have a little bit of hesitation to see what that looks like and see the game plan. But we're only 15-ish days away from that happening, and then we'll see where that takes us too.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of speculation on what's going to happen, no matter what side of the party you are on. Yeah. I know some people think that it's like, all right, it's the 20th. Here's the magic switch. Everything's going to be fine.
Like over the next couple weeks of the game plan for these people that and what outlook they have, and what types of things that they're anticipating that they're going to be able to do. But it's not going to be an immediate thing. Hey, the 20th,
no.
Yeah.
So I think that, I agree. It's going to take time for things to change and for the market to, I guess, just be stimulated, and, the economy. So I think that, over the course of the next couple months will be very telling. But yeah, there's a lot of unknown factors, but I think overall it's going to be good. There's a lot of like naysayers that really, I see on these real estate groups that are kind of, they have no credible information or means where they say, oh, the market's going to crash as soon as so-and-so takes office and this and that. But there's nothing that is, they don't have any leg to stand on. There's no like credible information behind it.
It's emotional. Politics is emotional. We try not to make it that way, but it is. But I also think that it's not going to be dramatic. It's not drastic. It's not like, something's going to happen and it's going to be instantaneous one way or the other.
Yeah.
It's not going to be fantastic at first. It's not going to be horrific at first. It's going to take time for whatever is going to happen. And truth be told, nobody has any control over it except the powers that be. And we smooth and steady.
Yeah.
We'll all be okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, but from everything else that I've been seeing and reading from, the experts that study and watch the markets, they are all saying that this year they're expecting a healthy and normal growth and increase in the market as far as values and sales. So, we could be looking, I would just say we're going to average it out around 5%, give or take, as far as growth. And I think that is stable, good, and healthy.
I think right now they're pretty much what you just said, around 5.2%. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. It's good for buyers. It's good for sellers. Who's it not good for? People who just bought and want to sell immediately, without doing anything to their property. We're not in 2021 anymore where you can buy your house and then sell it 6 months later and make $50,000 after you pay all your closing costs and everything, and not put any money into your home. So, because I know that you and I have both come across that where just, and it happens. People's circumstances change unexpectedly, whether it's job or relationship or just anything to do with your family, where you just might have to move, or it would be more ideal for you to move back to a specific area or out of state, or whatever it is. But
actually had a couple which we're considering that we'll call it that have bought in the last, we'll call it 12 months. I think it's less than that. But when they're going and trying to sell their home now, they're not going to gain anything. They might break even or
maybe if they're lucky. If you're lucky. Because what I think a lot of people don't realize is there's a lot of costs, and not even just realtor commissions that are associated with selling your home. But you have to pay title fees. And then there's taxes. It just costs money to sell your house. And then let's talk about the money you put into it as far as down payment and things like that. Like, does it make sense? Are you going to get your money back that you put into it and be able to pay off your mortgage and pay your agent, pay anything that you're even as a for sale by owner, So
say that they do an inspection and now all of a sudden, now you need repairs. Now you have to have the funds to be able to do that. So it's pretty raw. I mean, I wouldn't anticipate somebody normally buying a house within 6 months to a year and having to turn around and sell it if there wasn't something major that took place in their life that is making them do so. So, but I do see pretty soon the ability to refinance to, save themselves some money in that aspect.
Yeah.
Again, you're going to eat up a little bit of that equity that you've gained by those closing costs. But the reality is now you're paying less interest. So,
right, exactly. So either way, I think overall healthy market, and I think we're going in the right direction as far as being healthy for both buyers and sellers. And a lot of people want to know when's the right time to buy. Whenever you're ready, whenever if you're ready, you have some savings, you are able to afford a house that you, I don't want to say want, but a house, a good home.
Yeah, that meets your needs.
Yeah, that meets your needs. Then as long as you can afford that and, not be living, I guess, paycheck to paycheck or, just paying your mortgage, that's a good time. Because I think, one of the big things as an adult is you want to be able to retire one day and not have a mortgage and own your home.
And I also think it's going to be a great time for investors to start buying some houses again.
They're buying them.
That's
They're
awesome.
they're definitely buying them. I'm watching them. At least the flooded properties, and I get call after call after call after text after email. I'm like, it's not just me. I mean, most agents get that, and it's a lot. It's overwhelming. But we are a little bit over time, so let's stay on time. And I know we said that we had a lot of stuff to cover. I think we covered most of it.
Yeah. Well, tell us about our guest for next week. And please, guys, like, share, and subscribe to our show. We're hoping to bring you lots of education and information, as well as local companies, to introduce you to them.
Yep. So next week we have Amanda Arancio. I'm not, if she's watching, I'm sorry, I might have butchered her last name. So she is, she does cupping and she does massages and sports massage. And she actually does it for, I think she's one of the therapists for USF. I think she works a lot with their sports team. She'll be able to tell you about it more next week. Yeah. She also she can travel to any location. She goes to BCMF a couple times a week. And she does a very, very amazing job. And
well, I've heard nothing but good things about her, so I'm excited to hear what she's got to say, and so she can teach us about what she does.
Yeah, she's very knowledgeable, and I know that anybody that I know that have gone to her, they are obsessed because they feel better. She's very healing. So yeah, she'll be on with us next week. Yeah. And I'm excited to hear more about just her, because I know that I've spoken with her personally about how she got started and everything, but highly, highly recommend her. And we are looking forward to all the rest of our guests that we have coming up.
All right. Sounds good. Well, again, Happy New Year, everybody. And thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Bye.